Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 76 of Brat Said That. I am your host, Brat Jackson, along with my co-producer, Chad LGBT. We are back after a week break. Not a week break, a 7-day break. You know, not saying week break like Conor McGregor did. Oh, okay. Well, okay, Conor McGregor shots first. But, hope everybody had a great week. It is Saturday. We got Saturday's main event tonight. I want to miss it because I got to do the thing at work in a couple hours. But still, we're back. We got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about the All-Star game. We got to talk about the Home Run Derby, Dark Side of the Ring. As you can see behind me, today's theme is my favorite movie of all time. Yes, number one favorite movie, The Dark Knight, came out today, 18 years ago, and I saw it not once, not twice, but 3 times in theaters. We're going to all have, well, I'm not even going to look at my notes. I'm just going to talk, we're going to get serious and just talk about the greatest movie, the greatest trilogy, and we're going to have a great show. We're going to go on for about an hour. We got so much to talk about, but we have to start as we always do. Almost a week ago, inside the squared circle. Oh, we got to talk about SmackDown too. I didn't even realize. But let's talk about Raw. Monday Night Raw happened, and it looks like we are just hyping up, adding more matches to SummerSlam, adding, you know, the little pieces that, Saturday's main event puzzle, the little pieces to the SummerSlam puzzle. But let's start it off. All the family came out. Brock Lesnar, they're going to be in a cell at SummerSlam. And of course, the security, aka students of the local promotion, got beat down by Obafemi. Hopefully they made some good bump pay. That's good. I'm really looking forward to this match. Obafemi, Brock Lesnar, Hell in a Cell. What is going to happen in that match? It's just going to be carnage. It's going to be Hell in a Cell. Roxanne, she's going to be most likely going on to becoming the women's champion at SummerSlam. But she's got to get through Judgment Day to get to live. That's how it is, She got through Roxanne, and it's one of those matches that you've seen once. You've seen them before. But, I'm looking forward to that match. They just had their match at King and Queen of the Ring or Night of Champions. By the way, before I need to take a break and say something. All the family winning the King of the Ring, then just relinquishing that to face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. What a pointless King of the Ring. Like, we could have gave that to Javon Evans. You could have gave that to, yes, I know they don't like him, Jey Uso, or any of the other participants in the field. It just seems to get a little, that was just to get a little stat on Oba, but, I miss when King of the Rings used to mean something. But, used to mean something. The Alpha Academy used to mean something. Chad Gable, he's out. Otis and Akira Tozawa and Maxine, she's out. She's now with the Vision. And it looked like Maxine was going to be like, hey, Otis, listen, this isn't personal. I lied. Low blow from Austin Theory. It is personal. Maxine is with the Vision now. No more Alpha Academy. Which I really want to see them. If you have a face tag team who's going against a heel tag team who's a champion, maybe have a championship match at a wrestling promotion or a wrestling show coming up. Then we got a little taste of Friday Night SmackDown. Royce Keys, Jimmy Uso, they have been going at it, but now we have an official match at SummerSlam. In one of the weirdest matches, we have LA Knight, teaming with Royce Keys and Solo Sikoa versus Jimmy J and Jacob. Maybe that's why Solo's not part of the group anymore, because his name doesn't start with J. Maybe it was Jolo. But yeah, good SummerSlam matches. Let's have wrestling matches on wrestling shows. Good for that. I'm looking for that 6-man. Then Lala Valkyria, she came out. She looked homeless. She had rips in her clothes. Her hair's all a mess. Her and Bayley, they battled, and they're going to... I'm looking forward to that match. I know Bayley might be on her way out, the internet says, but I think, if Layla has to be the one to take Bailey out, let Bailey go to AEW. And, then we have a gauntlet match, which I love gauntlets. Gauntlets are fine. I've won a gauntlet a couple times. But, it was to name the number one contenders for that Intercontinental Championship from Penta. Dominic came out first. He defeated Joe Hendry. And then Danhausen came out, distracted Dom, gave Javon Evans now the win over Dom. So Javon Evans moves on. Javon and Dragon Lee have a hell of a little match together. Actually, John Lambros, how you doing, buddy? I've been thinking about you. Hopefully you're doing well. This show is dedicated to John Lambros, too. Rusev then came out, defeated Javon Evans. And then Ethan Page came out. No, then Chad Gable came out, defeated Rusev. And then Ethan Page came out. Listen, somebody give me something, I don't have the best setup. I don't have the best production. But I got a personality and knowledge, But now it is going to be Chad Gable versus Penta at SummerSlam in Minneapolis. Who's from Minneapolis? Chad Gable. So I think Chad's finally, I don't think he's ever, no, he didn't win it. Finally will win the Intercontinental Championship. Face versus face is okay. And then the contract signing, which, I'll be honest, me and Babe, we watch Monday Night Raw every single Monday. I did not see a single promo or coming up at the end of the show. A contract signing between Rollins and Roman. After the gauntlet match, we turned it off because we thought that was the end of the show. So, contract signing between Seth and Roman is official at SummerSlam. Those two have been going at it since 2014. Never gonna stop. This is our generation's Piper and Hogan, Cena and Orton, cats and dogs. It is just what the WWE is made of. It's like our generation's Batman and Joker. See what I did there? But I totally forgot. We gotta talk about SummerSlam. Not SummerSlam. Survivor Series. No, not SmackDown. The one that starts with an S is SmackDown. SmackDown results. So they did announce a few big stipulations for the Saturday Night's main event. If it's going to be Cody Rhodes and CM Punk teaming up against Sami Zayn and Gunter. If Gunter and Sami Zayn win, they are added into the match at SummerSlam, and it's now a 4-way. I would love to see that. I would also kind of hope they still go in the Nick Aldis Gunter direction, but Sami needs to do something. So pretty much that's what it was. SmackDown started off. Cody Rhodes confronted Gunter. It's like, hey, Gunter, you crushed my head into the car. You think I'm not going to try to beat your ass? And that's what Cody Rhodes did. And then everybody came out and stopped him. And then Finn Balor defeated Tala Tonga. We've seen that. Give Finn something better. And, breaking news, though. Breaking news. Breaking news. Rhea Ripley is injured. So, at SummerSlam now, there is going to be a 6-woman ladder match to not even win the interim WWE Women's Championship. An interim. We're going to look at the SummerSlam card in a second. But Tiffany Stratton defeated Jason Jane to qualify for that match. Tiffany Stratton, who is already the Women's United States Champion. Tiffany time, she wins all the belts, I guess. Same thing. Jade Cargill defeated Nia Jax via disqualification because Charlotte came out and said, hey, you took out Alexa, I'm taking you out. So those two are going to go at it, hopefully at SummerSlam, have wrestling matches and wrestling cards. War Raiders defeated Fraxium. War Raiders, I've always I think Eric is the stupidest wrestling name in history. I think it'd be cool if it was like E-Rock. Just change it a little bit. Ivar and E-Rock sounds so much better than Eric. Eric doesn't, imagine if Batman's number one villain was Eric. Watch out, Gotham. Here comes Eric. Anyways, the Triple H champions, War Raiders, they won 9-title match. Cody Rhodes versus Gunter, they weren't going to have a match. That ended in a no contest because CM Punk and Sami Zayn came out. So, let's go to SummerSlam and then we'll bounce back to Saturday Night's main event, which is tonight. SummerSlam, I'm looking forward to. I think I got off work, or I'm having to work pretty early. But SummerSlam, we got 7 matches, 2 nights, which hopefully you add some more matches on there. Liv Morgan versus Io Sky, we talked about Women's World Championship. Alba Brock, Hell in a Cell, we know that. Roman Seth, World Heavyweight Championship. Penta Chad, WWE Intercontinental Championship. As right now, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed WWE Championship. The 6 tag match, LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, Roy Keys, and the Bloodline. And Timothy Stratton, Jade Cargill. Oh, Charlotte Flair or Nia Jax. Okay, so I guess Charlotte Flair is, vying for a entry into this match. But hey, spoilers, Jade Cargill is gonna ruin that. So that is SummerSlam. That's coming up in just a few weeks. I'm so excited. I love SummerSlam. The second, third, whatever biggest show of the year, however you want to say it. It's always part of the core 4 or big 5 if you add the King of the Ring back in the day. But Saturday night's main event is tonight inside the world's greatest arena, Madison Square Garden, or Madison Square Gardenhausen. Because, yes, Danhausen's poster is all over Madison Square Garden. One of the big reasons why the Knicks won the NBA Finals. But tonight, he is going to face J.D. McDonough in a no disqualification match. So things are going to get a little crazy. Things are going to get a lot of shenaniganhousens, But, breaking news, Laredo Kid is going to face Trick Williams on a pre-show. I can't miss that match, Paige and Brie Bella versus Fatal Influence, Laney Reed and Fallon Henley. I think it's time to take the titles off Paige and Brie. Give it to an established tag team like them. Which is crazy to say that because I know Paige and Brie are established as much as you can get. But I like tag teams that have names. I've always liked that. I've never liked like John and Jack. Jack Smith and John Johnson. Come up with a name. Bayley versus Lana Valkyria. We talked about that. That's going to be a fun match. And Punk and Cody versus Gunter and Sammy. Whoever wins, or if Gunter and Sammy win, they get to WWE Championship at SummerSlam. It's going to be great. Jalen Brunson is going to be there, the NBA champion. I hate you, Garrett. Why are you saying you hate me? I love you, buddy. Are you mad because you are not going to go to Saturday night's main event tonight? Is that why you're mad? Is that why you hate me? But, you know what else you should not hate? Even though I don't watch it, I don't really focus on it. Kenny Omega's championship reign begins all in. We got Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. A dream match. One of the biggest shows AEW is going to do. I am excited to watch that. I'm not a big Ospreay fan, but I am a huge Kenny Omega fan. And seeing him win the AEW Championship once again just proves that he is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And, I know he did a little Deep South wrestling. I know I'm at this is your 17th time at a Motionless in White concert. Every time I look up, it's like, Garrett's at a Motionless in White concert. I hate you because you're stupid. Listen, man, I'm not stupid. You know what is stupid? MJF might be taking time off because he is injured after losing the AEW World Championship. Reports speculate it could be a recovery, outside projects. He might, his empire, the MJF empire is huge, or simply taking a break and returning for All In because, that's what happens. You lose the title, you take some time off, and you come back in a bigger, better, MJF sucks. How can you say that? MJF, a man who you shared a wrestling ring with, not in the match, but you've been in the same actual wrestling ring, It doesn't suck, though. And you don't hate Motor City Machine Guns. They tease a video of them on where they can go in the next company. It was like FMW. They were like, I don't want to blow up. Like Joker, he loves blowing shit up. Cyber Fight, don't even know what that is. Sounds kind of kinky. Wrestle and Romance, that sounds very kinky. IWA Mid-South, I don't know, this is 2002 again. But they might be hinting at All Elite AEW. I would love to see the Motor City Machine Guns because Alex Shelley is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Chris Sabin is a legend. You don't know what I hate? I hate penguins. Well, I'm not doing. This is a Dark Knight today. Okay, we're not doing the new Batman. Okay, Penguin is one of the greatest comic book villains of all time. Sidney Crosby is one of the greatest hockey players of all time, and I am one of the greatest podcasters of all time. So that's 3-0 for Penguins. Boo yourself. Where are you seeing Motionless in White? You should go to Madison Square Garden and see Saturday Night's Main Event. But you know what else you should have seen? Dark Side of the Ring. Yes, all 3 episodes of Jeff Jarrett's love for TNA is out there. And damn, Dixie Carter, you want to speak about hate. That motherfuckers hate Dixie Carter. 3 episodes of just bashing Dixie Carter, bashing Hulk Hogan, and talking about Kurt Angle in his worst time ever. Here's the thing. I love Dark Side of the Ring, but if you're going to bash Dixie Carter for 3 episodes, at least have her on there. Get her side of the story. Okay? If you're going to talk about Kurt Angle during the whole procedure with the Karen Jarrett and Jeff Jarrett and that little love triangle, try to get Kurt Angle on there. You know, there's a lot of people that they didn't talk about. Or that wasn't there to talk about it. I mean, Hulk Hogan, rest in peace, he passed away. Virginia, why would anybody go to Virginia? Why would anybody possibly go to Virginia? Okay? You know what's in Virginia? Nothing. And now I just lost to 1 viewer in Virginia. Thanks, Garrett. But yeah, no Dixie, no Kurt. Very upset, but still Dark Side of the Ring. Great 3 episodes. Talks about Kurt Angle, Jeff Jarrett. Shows you Jeff Jarrett goes through some shit. It's at a concert, asshole. I know it's at a concert, but why would you go to Virginia, okay, to see a concert when you live on Long Island? That's like a 4-hour drive to just stand there in a crowd full of sweaty people that all they do is just put their phones out, hear the same songs you've heard over and over and over again, and then drive all the way back to Long Island, miss Saturday night's main event, which is happening 40 minutes from your house. But it's okay. I digress. 5.5 hours. I have a 5-hour rule. Okay? If a comedy show is more than 5 hours away, I am not driving. And 5 hours. Well, here's the thing. Okay? Living out here in Las Vegas, it takes 5 hours to get a lot of it. You can cover a lot of ground in 5 hours on the East Coast. Like, you can go through Long Island, Pennsylvania, D.C., Maryland, and get to Virginia. 5 hours, I'm still in Nevada. Maybe I flew. Now, why would you fly? Speaking about flying, the NWO Chronicles are in full effect. We've talked about Hulk Hogan being the 3rd man. Now, what happened after the infamous Bash of the Beach 96? Well, the NWO was on top. Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall. But what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about those promos that they did. Those paid advertisements by the NWO. I know, I love you, Garrett. You're the best. We all know the theme. New World Order. It was such a great theme. It's called Rock House, if you ever wanted to know. This arguably is the greatest theme in pro wrestling. Okay? This is an indigenous idea between Jimi Hendrix's work, Voodoo Child, love you, buddy. Enjoy your night. Have a great time at the concert. Make sure you watch Saturday's main event. And make sure you subscribe too, man. Get to my YouTube. And if you're driving, flying, be safe. Watch out for the Joker. He's out there. But just, the new World Order. It was a great, I'll play a little bit of clip of it. Don't give me copyright. I'm going to play like 5 seconds of it. Just to get a little bit of like a soundbite, Just a little bit of the NWO theme. Just so everybody can hear, Amazing. And then, we're going to talk about that later. 74 people come out. They're all dressed in NWO shirts. Which you got to talk about the NWO logo. The little N, the big W, the little O inside that rectangle. Hottest wrestling t-shirts of all time. I'll insert a picture of little Matty J, little Ratty J wearing a Wolfpack shirt. But still, that theme, amazing. The vignettes, all 3 of them. black and white. It's like, it's up here and then down here. Now they're over here. Now they're talking over here. Now it's Hulk Hogan over here. Scott Hall over here. Kevin Nash down there. Amazing promos. Amazing promos. Let's see. The single idea conveys both the intimidation factor carried by the stable and the extent to which they run roughshod. Never seen that word spelled out. Roughshod over Ted Turner's organization. Also, rest in peace, Ted Turner. The twilight setting of the Disney MGM Studios is the ideal backdrop for this violent, above-it-all force. The darkness is about to descend. It's little wonder that the young adults, Mel's, falls in love with the hills. And yes, we did, because they were amazing hills. One of the greatest factions from like 96 to 98, greatest factions. But let's move on. Don't forget, Saturday night's main event is tonight at MSG. So if you're going there, have fun. And say hi to Danhausen for me. One person that's not having fun is Conor McGregor. Yes, we did a watch along. We did the show live. Max Holloway officially defeated Conor McGregor. TKO, knee injury, 1 minute and 9 seconds in the first round. Conor's went on the internet, said, listen, it wasn't a freak accident, or it was a freak accident. He wasn't hurt beforehand. It wasn't, I gotta stop doing this thing dry. You hear that? I need equipment. But yeah, it was just, it happens. We're going to see Conor McGregor again in the octagon. I don't know. But Conor, I know I said this as it happened. You officially have this week's Bratwurst Award. Pretty bad. But for the rest of the card, what a show it was. Paddy Pimblett defeated Benoit Saint Denis. Peruvian Neckties is officially 52 seconds in the first round. I'm telling you, Paddy versus Ilya, make that match. Even if it's not, even if you need a fill card with a non-title match, that is a big enough match where you can have Paddy versus Ilya. That'd be a great match. Then you have Mario Batista. He looked good against his fight against Corey Sandhagen. Kind of saw that coming. But Brandon Royval really pulled off the impressive win over Kavanaugh. Submission, rear naked choke. And then in one of the best first rounds you'll ever see, King Green defeated Terrence McKinney. 1 second left. That's gotta hurt. I'm not a fighter. I'm not. But to lose 1 second must suck. Must suck. But on the undercard, Whitaker is successful against Nikita Krylov. Pretty much broke the guy's jaw. Gable Stevenson, he won against Ellison. KO, knees and punches. Poor Cody Garbrandt. I don't know what Cody Garbrandt did to make him look that unstoppable against Dominic Cruz back in 2016 or 17. But wow. He looked the greatest challenger looked in a fight that I think I've ever seen. And then for him to just lose constantly back and forth is hard. And especially when you get knocked out so many times. And then, other fights all look good. Submission, TKO, KO, TKO, TKO. So, very good card. But we're going to talk about another card happening tonight. Not at Madison Square Garden, in Oklahoma City. Former champions, Dracus du Plessis. His first fight after losing to Chimaev. I combined his name. Kamaru Usman, former UFC welterweight champion. Coming off a win over against Wakan Buckley in June of last year. They're headlining the card. Kind of where you see former champions on the decline. Kamaru Usman, I don't think he's ever fought at middleweight. Or last fight was at middleweight. Is this his middleweight debut? Oh, no. His middleweight debut was against... Oh, he fought Chimaev. Okay. So both these men have losses to Chimaev. Both these men have the championship and lost them. So, I'm thinking Usman's going to pull it out tonight. I really am. Jared Cannonier versus Christian Leroy Duncan. He's making a name for himself, CLD. So I think Duncan still continues that streak of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins. So this will be his 5th win. Chase Hooper is always fun to watch. A little Ben Askren. By the way, shout out to Ben Askren, who after a year that looked like the end of not even his MMA career, but his life, He has made a complete turnaround. He is going to do RAF today against, I think it's Bilal Muhammad, or I'm not too sure, but good to Ben Askren. Good to see him turning, from a sickness and an illness to being, I don't know if he's 100%, but he looks great. So let's go, Funky Ben. And Paramount Plus today is going to be a good card in Oklahoma City. UFC introduces meta rankings. Now, they used to have, for the rankings of the UFC, I think they still do, like, the media members, but now they're doing meta. They go to ChallengeGPT, which, congrats on the new job, and just says, hey, rank these fighters. And they do, and then, boom, just like that, they pop them out, and that's the meta rankings. The UFC, officially replaced a long-running media voting panel with its new meta rankings, an AI and data-driven ranking system. The change has sparked plenty of debate, with many fans of fighters questioning whether the new system accurately reflects the sport. Spoilers, it probably does not. But hey, you know what? Now everything is ran by AI, or soon will be, and AI is taking over, but, one voting criteria that has not been taken over by AI. We love awards, we love Emmys, we love sports, we love the Oscars, we love the Academy Awards. What better way to combine them for the 2026 ESPY Awards? Yes, hosted just the other day by Marcelo Hernandez. He's on SNL. We're going to go take a quick rundown of the winners. Best athlete in the men's sports. Let's be honest. You know who this is going to be. Jalen Brunson for the Knicks. He defeated Stafford, Otani, and Messi. Best athlete women's sports. Las Vegas' own Aja Wilson from the Las Vegas Aces. Best breakthrough athlete. Now, I was surprised about this. Alyssa Liu, figure skating. She won it over Fernando, Drake May, and Macklin Celebrini, who we're going to talk about in a little bit later. Best comeback athlete, Christian McCaffrey from the San Francisco 49ers. Best college athlete, Fernando. Yes, he won. Best college athlete, women's sports, Lauren Betts, UCLA. Best team goes to the New York Knicks, the NBA Finals champions. They won it over the Seahawks, Longhorns, Hoosiers, Aces, Hurricanes, Dodgers, and the men's and women's U.S. hockey team. Best championship performance, once again, Jalen Brunson, New York Knicks. Love it. Best athlete with a disability. This is a true category. Did not know. Declan Farmer, who is a sledge hockey player. Don't know what sledge hockey is. Don't know what disability he has. But congrats to Declan Farmer. He is a bilateral amputee. Doesn't have a few digits. Best play, OG Anunoby for the Knicks. I mean, this is a Knicks, everybody. The tip in to win Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Best record-breaking performance, Myles Garrett. Hey, Cleveland Browns, you actually won something. Broke the NFL single-season sack records for 18 games. Best single-game performance, Shohei. When he pitched 6 scoreless innings, struck out 10 batters, and hit 3 home runs. I can go play that on the show. 99 overall. Lenny Bobo. Can't even do that. Best NFL player, Myles Garrett. Best NHL player, Connor McDavid. Best NBA player, Jalen Brunson. Best WNBA player, Aja Wilson. Best MLB player, Shohei Otani. Best soccer player, Lionel Messi. Best golfer, Scotty Sheffield. Best fighter, Terrence Crawford. Won it over Calista Shields, Gabriela Fondora, and Justin Gaethje. Terrence Crawford did not fight at all last year. Not once. Hold on, I dropped my phone. He fought September against Canelo. But, hey, best fighter should have went to Gaethje. Best driver, Lando Norris. And best tennis player, Carlos Alcaraz. And Jim Abbott won the Jimmy V award. But yes, we love awards. The ESPYs, always fun. Always got great monologues. Marcelo Hernandez did a great job. But we're going to move on because we just had the All-Star Derby and the home run, the All-Star Game and the home run derby. Jordan Walker from the St. Louis Cardinals won it. Listen, this home run derby is a little bit different than what I remember growing up. Because the home run derby growing up, you would hit like 20, 25 home runs. Now you hit 10 and you're in the next round. It is what it is. It did come down to Walker. I don't want the 2009 home run derby. Come on, ChatGPT. I want it came down to Kyle Schwarber, hometown Phillies. We had Bryce Harper there too for the Phillies, and Jordan Walker. But Walker with 13, total 31 home runs. Okay, so Jordan Walker won 13 home runs, 6 home runs, and 12. So, like back in the day, let's go back to let's go 2010. David Ortiz when he won it, okay, or 2009. I guess they did like 11 home runs, or I don't know. Sometimes back in the day, you would hit a lot more home runs than just 7. 20 home runs, 17 home runs. But, they make all different rules every year. But, good for Jordan Walker. But the AL won 4-0 over the NL in the All-Star game. And wow, what a Snoozefest. Probably the most boring All-Star game I ever watched. It was not fun. It didn't have the atmosphere of the All-Star game. No offense to Philly, I like your cheesesteaks and Rocky and ECW, but it wasn't good. I mean, Miguel Vargas from the White Sox didn't get the only home run, but not a very good All-Star game. But Murakami was on it, Vargas was on it for the White Sox, so good for them. Good for my White Sox, who are still in first place. No NFL news, really. Nothing really to talk about NFL. NBA, they got Fanatics Fest, which I would love to go one year. Maybe 1 year. LeBron, I don't know if this is true, but I know Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, was like, LeBron needs to make his decision soon because the NBA schedule revolves around where he's going to go. Obviously, you want LeBron on the primetime TV, but if you don't know what team he's on, you can't book that, But he pretty much said he did not reveal his decision on the Fanatics Fest, which is a great, great festival. I love it. I always watch highlights. But yeah, so he's not a Laker. He's kind of in limbo. Where's it going to go? Only LeBron and Bronny knows. I think if he ends up going to state, it'd be good. If he ends up in Philadelphia, that'd be good. But, his career is almost over. So the last final chapter of the greatest basketball player of all time is almost near. But speaking of somebody who's just started off their career in the hockey world, San Jose Sharks center Macklin Calabrini made video game history. Calabrini, who is only 20, will be the cover athlete for both the Standard Edition and Deluxe Edition, which is always good, okay? If you're going to have a cover athlete, get him on all the editions. I don't like this, CM Punk in this edition, and then, you got Devon Dudley in that edition, Enzo Amore in that edition. Keep the one cover athlete itself. When those games are released later this year, according to EA Sports, Calabrini is the youngest player ever featured as a cover athlete for his NHL series. Trevor Zegras was 21 when he appeared on the cover of NHL 23 as a member of the Anaheim Ducks. So good for him. I think when I was 20, I wasn't on any video games. But hey. But speaking about somebody who's going to be certainly on a lot of covers, Caitlin Clark makes history once again in the WNBA. No matter how much you think, people don't care about Caitlin Clark. Listen, she makes history with a record-breaking game. Okay, the Indiana Fever star becomes the first player in league history with at least 40 points and 10 assists in a game. She is the face of the WNBA. She is the future. She is, slowly becoming the GOAT of WNBA. So good for Caitlin Clark. She makes history. What can you say? History has been made. But one thing we got to talk about FIFA is... Okay. So, right now, the finals of FIFA, after everything that's happened, is Spain versus Argentina. Or Argent FIFA. Listen, England was up 1-0. I knew they lost. I was like, 55 minutes, England, you only scored 1, and you're facing against Argentina. You lost. And of course, Argentina came back to win 2-1. Enzo Fernandez and Lautaro Martinez scored the game-winning goals. So it's going to be Argent FIFA versus Spain in the finals. Yay. But hey, Spain with a huge win over France. Charlie BGP. I thought, we had France in the book, but was not to say. But France and England are battling for the third place. And I'm excited for that. I'm going to be, that starts at 2 o'clock. So, really that is a championship game, But let's look at the goals and stats and everything. The World Cup is almost over. Lionel Messi, 8 goals. Mbappe, I hope I'm saying that name right. 8 goals. Erling Haaland. Oh, poor guy from Norway. It was all over social media. Haaland. Da. 7 goals. Assist, Michael Olise from France. 5 assists. Brahim Diaz, Morocco, 4 assists. And Bruno Guimaraes from Brazil, 4 assists. And, but yeah, right now, Argentina versus Spain. I don't think we've ever looked at, the winners of FIFA. I feel like we have, but let's just look at the FIFA. Because Argentina is looking to go back-to-back. I think only 2 teams have ever done that before. In order of the winner of, 1930 was the first FIFA World Cup. Argentina. Let's make sure this is right. Let's see. Oh, okay. So, Uruguay. Italy. Uruguay. West Germany. I wonder what happened in the 40s in Germany that split them up. Brazil. England, Brazil. West Germany. What happened in the 70s split them up. No. Argentina, Italy, Argentina, West Germany. Did I just say that? Brazil, France, Brazil, Italy, Spain, Germany, France, and Argentina. So, yeah. It's going to happen. Let's see. The finals is on the 19th, which is tomorrow in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Wow. Imagine going to Saturday night's main event tonight and the FIFA World Cup finals. But, yeah. Let's see. United States, looks like we were 3rd place in 1930. And we're not very good at soccer. Oh. Yeah. So, next time, 2030, Morocco, Portugal, and Spain are going to host it. And in 2034, Saudi Arabia. But yeah, that's FIFA. We talked about it. It's FIFA. Soccer. But other than that, let's talk about the main topic of today's discussion. Actually, before we do that, we got a little bit of sad news. Miscellaneous. One of my favorite actors. If you know me, I love Sons of Anarchy. I know he's done so much since and so much before. But to me, Ryan Hurst will always be Opie, Sons of Anarchy. He was supposed to do Kratos, God of War, be Kratos, but he was forced to be recast after an injury while filming the highly anticipated PlayStation video game adaptation, according to Deadline. So, hopefully they find any other Kratos. I don't think I would fit the bill. I certainly wouldn't mind it, but, So that is, that's Ryan Hurst. Great actor. But we're going to talk about The Dark Knight, kids. We got about 15 minutes to talk about The Dark Knight. So Dark Knight, if you don't know, is about Batman. It's a second film in the Nolan Batman trilogy. Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises. We're going to talk about The Dark Knight Rises in a few, whatever. So, as you know, Batman Begins, Batman saves the day. Okay? Now he's ready. He's Bruce Wayne. He's fully Batman. Batman Begins, he's kind of, parents die, of course. He goes out, Ra's al Ghul, saves Gotham once again. But now he's fully billionaire Bruce Wayne. Okay? He's got Alfred, played by Michael Caine. By the way, Batman. Um, Batman. Christian Bale. Sorry, had a brain fart. He is Batman. He is a good Batman. He is a great Batman. He is I'm saying it right now, Brat Said That, best Batman of all time. So he's ready, Then all of a sudden, he's got a new foe. The Joker. Yes, the biggest Batman villain. Maybe the biggest villain up there with the likes of Darth Vader and Tony Schiavone. He is ready to wreak havoc on Gotham, as you can see right behind me. The Joker, played by Heath Ledger, the late, great Heath Ledger. Now, when the casting of the Joker, and they're like, Heath Ledger, people are like, the dude from 10 Things I Hate About You, the pretty boy, the Knight's Tale, yes, but what Heath Ledger did, which ultimately might have been his undoing, he made himself into that character. What a character it was. This movie came out 18 years ago to July 18th, 2008. I remember seeing it July 18th, 2008. Heath Ledger passed away January 2008. I don't think he ever got to see the fully extent of the movie. Didn't get to see the worldwide phenomenon that he became. His second ever movie before passing. Fun fact, his last movie ever he filmed, Dr. Parnassus, or whatever, something, Dr. Parnassus. But yeah, Joker's ready. He's trying to take over Gotham. Batman's like, why are you trying to take over Gotham? And Joker's like, well, you know what? I just like a little chaos. Why so serious? And they're fighting. They're doing amazing things. Then you have Harvey Dent, District Attorney. Okay? He's seeing Rachel Dawes, who, in Batman Begins, was Katie Holmes. Katie Holmes is like, I don't want to do this movie. I'm going to go do Mad Money. And they're like, well, we need to recast you. Hey, Jake Gyllenhaal, is your sister busy? No. Rachel, Maggie Gyllenhaal, she casted. So there she is right there. They have a fling too, right? Joker captures Maggie, or Rachel, and Harvey. And they're like, well, you got to save either. You got to save your girlfriend or the district attorney. And Joker gives Batman two different directions. Unfortunately, he goes and saves Harvey Dent instead of Rachel. Rachel. Rachel blows up and dies. Harvey Dent, for some reason, I think every single Batman fan knows this, but for some reason, this little tidbit escaped my mind. Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face. For me, seeing in the theater, don't know why I forgot about that. That's like forgetting to wear, underwear. That fact escaped my mind. So Harvey Dent's like, well, Batman, you kind of killed my girlfriend. I'm going after the Joker. And they're like, well, that's just, this Gotham City is crazy. Then you got Commissioner Gordon, who is, he's known Bruce since his young days. Commissioner Gordon, he's in full effect. He's kind of like, hey, Gary Oldman, relax. He's a commissioner of Gotham. He's helping Batman. Batman does this thing where he's talking to him, and then you turn away, and then he'll disappear. Kind of rude, Batman. But, overall, The Dark Knight, my favorite movie of all time. He catches Batman catches a Joker at the end, and then, it all concludes in The Dark Knight Rises. But really, what a great movie. Christian Bale, Michael Caine as Alfred, Heath Ledger, rest in peace, as the Joker, Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon, Aaron Eckhart, who was great in it as Two-Face, Morgan Freeman, Lucius Fox. Morgan Freeman was like Batman's expert in weapons. So Fox is like, Batman, hey Fox, I need a bat repellent to glide through cities. He's like, I got you, Batman. A cameo by the Scarecrow, which is great. And, Jonathan Cain, which is Cillian Murphy. They have this character called Mr. Reese, which you think is going to be the Riddler, because Mr. Reese, mystery, but it wasn't. And, that was the plot, Then Batman becomes, like, you live long enough to see, you either die here or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. but it made so much money in the box office. $1.9 billion, over $185 million budget. Hans Zimmer with the amazing music, you know. Harvey does die, right? Dent takes Gordon's family hostage, blaming his negligence for Rachel's death. Makes sense. He flips his coin. Remember that Two-Face, heads or tails. But Batman tackles to save Gordon's son, and Dent falls to his death. To his death. A lot of people thought Two-Face survived, but no, he died. Believing Dent is the hero that city needs, and the truth of the corruption will harm Gotham, Batman takes the blame for his death and actions. And this is where, you die here or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. First aiding Gordon to conceal the truth, Alfred burns an undelivered letter from Rachel and Bruce that chooses to choose Dent. Oh, so I guess it was a love triangle, But really, the thing that it makes it the best is Heath Ledger's performance as a Joker. It is just an amazing performance. Tom Waits, he is this English singer. That's where Heath got the voice from. Why so serious for it? I can't do it. My throat's killing me. But that's why he got the voice from. And it's so sad to see Heath Ledger not be able to see what happened with the movie. And just such a great movie. And it's got everything, We'll talk about maybe The Dark Knight Rises in a few months. But really I want to talk about it today because it is the best movie. I've watched it. It's one of those movies you can't watch me because I'll repeat it over and over. But I wanted to just put a little Dark Knight summary for Charlie GP to wrap up. And but before we go, hope everybody had a great day. Hope everybody has a great weekend. We're gonna be back on Tuesday. Little noon Tuesday show on the 28th. Talk about Raw. Talk about Saturday night's main event. I do know before we get off that WWE is having When Worlds Collide the same time. Fortunately, the internet's slowly shitting on me. Same time as the AEW show. So, more wrestling. I think that's August 26th. But let's see. Dark Knight picks up a year after Batman. Because Batman, Joker's attacks. In the climax, Batman rescues Gotham from the Joker's final scheme, involving two ferries filled with civilians and prisoners. The key themes: the battle between order and chaos, the moral cost of heroism, sacrifice for the greater good, and the idea that the symbols can inspire hope even when the truth is painful. The film ends with Batman accepting the role of Gotham's villain in the public eye so Harvey Dent can remain a symbol of justice. So, Batman, greatest hero of all time. Christian Bale, greatest Batman. Now, Joker you got Jack Nicholson, you got Cesar Romero, you got Heath Ledger, and then over there, about 6 blocks down, make a left, hop on a plane, say hi to Garrett in Virginia, and all the way over there, you got Jared Leto. So, very good casting. Was a little bit of a, what is this guy doing? But he did it amazingly. Nothing else to talk about, really. I'm going to go hop on ESPN.com, see if there's any breaking news, like LeBron joins, the Mavericks. But, no, that's it. So, that's it for the show. Had a fun show. Garrett, thanks for hopping on. Make sure you guys go and comment, like, subscribe, just do all the fun stuff. But I'm going to get off because I got to get ready for work. And, not the NWO. But let's do a quick recap. Saturday's main event for the 100th time is tonight. Main event, Cody Rhodes and CM Punk versus Gunter and Sami Zayn. If Sami and Gunter win, they are added into the WWE Championship match at SummerSlam. Kenny Omega will face Will Ospreay in AEW All in London on August 30th. Motor City Machine Guns, will they be there? We're going to have to see. Dark Side of the Ring Season 7 is underway. Next week is Samoa Joe versus Necro Butcher. We will talk about that next week. And then we're Chronicles. This is paid advertising by the NWO. Great stuff there. MMA, UFC 328. McGregor loses Bratwurst Award win. Let's see versus Usman tonight. We talked about the SDs. Home Run Derby, good. All-Star Game, boo. NBA, where's LeBron going to go? We still don't know. For show. Macklin Calabrini makes video game history. So being 20 on top of video game. Good start. NBA, WNBA, Caitlin Clark makes history. Spain versus Argentina FIFA. But I'm really looking forward to France and England. And, Ryan Hurst, he's injured. He won't play Kratos. And The Dark Knight, the greatest movie of all time, came out today, 18 years ago. Oh, and this whole thing about them spying on... I don't know this whole plot. I thought it was stupid. Anyway, this is a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but a whole lot of Brat. So, I'm gonna get off. We'll be back on Tuesday. Love yourself. Love each other. Love Batman. And we'll see you guys again. Alright, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend.